Okay, there. No. Okay, there. 1, 2, 3. How, how, how.
Say, build a, sound money. Hey, okay, well, it's Ugly Old Goat here, and I have a wonderful and beautiful guest, my daughter Esther, and she's going to be help. She has been helping me out, particularly in setting up these videos, and I've been advised that I really need to start doing YouTube again, and so I'm up for it, and she's up for it, and this is a real good way that we can just be working together. So again, I'm Ugly Old Goat. That's what I'm known as. I've now been going by the handle of Totally Depraved Boomer because I think it's more fitting. Because I think that's who I really am, and was recently called the Op Return Moron, which I consider a compliment. And I forget, I don't know who gave that to me, but it definitely stuck. But tonight, something kind of special happened, and I wrote a post about Bitcoin governance, and it started getting attention from people, the right people, and people that I respect in the space. And I know this concept is hard catching on. In fact, I've been kind of very lonely on it because, like I say, either I'm right on this thing or I'm insane, or it's just going to take some time for people to figure out, what's going on here and the wonderful, revelations that I've had about Bitcoin. So the ideas are starting to spread. It's going slowly, but it's going for the right reasons. So instead of just tweeting or sending posts, they call them as they now do, I thought we'd sit down together and talk through what my last article is saying and why it matters. The way, uh, again, I've been kind of out of touch for personal reasons. I've also had health issues the last, um, actually, a little over 2 years now, but it was really bad this last year. And so, and I'm just kind of now getting things back together. But I had a wonderful time. I kind of got woke up through watching Bitcoin Mechanic on one of his videos, and he started relating. Well, I didn't really want to go and bring up this issue of anyway. I guess pornography on Bitcoin, but he did, and they said basically because he needed to get attention, and it served its purpose. It got my attention, and so it was a brilliant move by Bitcoin Mechanic. So I'm in on this thing now too. Thank you, Mechanic, for doing that. I'm going to outline the latest article that I just posted on Twitter. Now, the way I've organized this, I've actually didn't really start investigating this until last October when I caught on to it, and then I started investigating it extensively. And then about November 1st, I think it was October 30th or 31st, I actually started a really deep deep dig dive, and I've written a Medium series of 26 articles, and they're available. You can see it evolved, and you can see how it evolved, and you can see where I wound up. And I'm not going to go heavy into that now because not many people are going to want to wade through 26, a series of 26 articles that probably don't always make a total sense. So this is a very shortened version, and I just uh, posted it on X today, and I called it Maintenance versus Mandate. Now, when software updates become monetary policy. Okay, Esther, I asked you this question earlier, so it's not going to be a silly question. What is the difference between maintenance and mandate?
Mandate is when someone or tells you what to do, and all the times was like, do this, and do this, and you need to do it because it's something that someone is gonna tell you to do it one and more
Yeah,
times.
that's pretty good. And maintenance, what is that?
Maintenance is to keep everything good, like keep doing it, keep doing the things that you do all the time.
Like,
They
what do you
don't
do all
say,
the time?
I clean the house, the dishes, everything.
That's
Like
right.
maintenance, the house.
Exactly. Okay. And so that's what we're going to try explain with money now. When software updates become monetary policy, and that is where we are now in Bitcoin. And you know what? I did not understand that until I did a deep dive. I'm not a programmer. I don't do coding, and I kind of thought of Bitcoin as better than gold. And that's really a misnomer because Bitcoin's not better than gold. It's different from gold. And at times, gold is better. And we've seen that. And we see it now. And we could see it continue for a long time. I could continue this entire year. I don't want that to happen, but it's very possible that it's going to happen. And it's becoming more and more, I think, of what I saw from the news today, more likely to happen. I noticed what they're trying to pull some strings in Washington now, which exactly is making the case of Bitcoin's becoming politicized, and that's and from some very important people in Bitcoin, and they're absolutely wrong. But the other side isn't absolutely right. So that's that's the middle ground we're going to cover today. So a lot of times people they keep arguing about how this was the issue that I kind of grabbed onto because I noticed there was a uh, um, maintainer or somebody that writes code in um, um, well, they write code. I don't write code, and they do the GitHub and all that kind of stuff. And they went through and said, well, it's not as bad as the core people are making it sound. It's only this much, 5,000 instead of 50,000, entries on the GitHub or whatever it was. And I said, well, it doesn't make any difference how much it is. The problem is it is. It is what Bitcoin is, and that's what needs to be addressed. You can't have all these changes and have a sound-based layer. And so that's what we call governance. So there is a governance risk in Bitcoin, and it's not about the volume of the code. It's about who has the authority to set policy over which transactions are allowed to settle on the base layer. Now, the bug fixes and performance improvements and refactoring, they're all maintenance, and that's good, and we want to do that. But rules that filter or prioritize transaction types, they're monetary policy because they shape what economic access becomes final settlement and what can access final settlement. And that's not a technical detail. That's not something that you're going to fix in the GitHub or through code. It's really a constitutional boundary, and I'm trying to kind of break through the ice and break through the layers. So a lot of these devs, I have a hard time saying it, and I have an easier time saying it because I'm not in that dev circle, and I understand where it's coming from, and I sympathize particularly with those that are making all the Knox arguments. I definitely, excuse me, believe that Knox is an improvement. But I want to point out, gold does not need any maintainers to approve what counts as a valid transfer. Its settlement rules are enforced by users uh, uh, and not by stewards. And the reason nothing is required in gold is because it's physics, it's not code. Now, Bitcoin was designed to work the same way as gold, uh, neutral settlement with legitimacy anchored in user enforced consensus. But it's not supposed to be working in developer discretion, but that's what's happening today. So decentralization slows the drift, and that's what we're doing now. I mean, NOF is an improvement, and it's addressing the symptoms, but it's really not getting at the root or the cause of the problem. It's not going to prevent further governance drift. It's going to happen again and again and again. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. And the idea is, oh no, we're going to prevent it this time. Well, okay, and you did. And hopefully it'll last. But it's not It's not if, but when. So every historical monetary system has failed, not because engineers were evil or incompetent, but because institutions accommodated informal authority over rules that were supposed to be invariant. And that's why settlement discipline matters. And so I really, what I discovered, this whole Course 30 debate exposed that Bitcoin has governance variance. I thought it was invariance. I really did. That's how stupid I was. The coders have always done. No, there's always been this problem. Yeah, I know. So the problem is there's always been this problem. You recognize there's always going to be a problem. So code's not the solution. I mean, sorry guys, we depend on you. We want a stable Bitcoin. Bitcoin is good, stable money, but we have to have people in that that's focused on that. And the rest of us can carry the rest of the burden through what's called a fiduciary, a monetary level. So if the base layer access becomes subject to evolving policy judgments, then the upper layers we can't rely on the monetary grounds anymore. Basically, the rug has been pulled away from the users. Now, we've never focused on the users really, but that's our next step. We need to have what I call a pillar and moment and a Genesis act where we kind of start again. And I'm not going to go into those things yet. This is just an introductory to bring this forth in a very simple manner, difficult subject in a simplest way I know how to do it. So without stable settlement, the marketplace discipline will weaken. You have custodial risk rises, and the financialization capture accelerates, and that's what we've been seeing. Bitcoin is being captured more and more and more every day by the legacy systems. We used to have self custody. I just studied this. I think it was at 85% just 5 years ago, and now self custody is like 60%. That's a huge drop, and that trend is going to get. Now, I know there's a core people that's getting better at it, but that's not the issue. That's probably going to continue, but it can't continue in the way that it's happening. It could continue in a different way, and that's from the ground up. And this is what's going to be hard to get through a lot of people's heads. So my point about code, it doesn't matter whether it's 5,000 lines or 50,000 lines, that's irrelevant. The only question that matters is this. Did the legitimacy boundary move? And did the discretionary control over transaction admissibility expand? If the answer is yes, then Bitcoin's monetary character has changed, regardless of how clean the code looks. Bitcoin is not gold, and gold is not software. But monetary legitimacy still depends on unchanging settlement rules and not on benevolent maintainers. Now, that is the debate we should be having and not the debate that we are currently having. So, again, if you want to check this out, just go to Twitter, check the latest feed that's pinned on there. It's also linked to the 28 articles. And welcome to the deep dive. And thanks for joining us on this journey. I also want to, if you want to help support what we're doing, and we could, frankly, we can use the support. We are I'm in not very good health, and we're in a very bad personal situation. But I'm having the time of my life. I'm enjoying life more than ever, and I know the Lord will provide. But if you uh, are in a position to help, and you like this work and you want to support us, please go to one of the articles. Most of the articles have a place where you can send us a little Bitcoin, and we could use that.
Yes.
And that's where we're at. So, okay, we went through this. Now, you summarize. What did we just learn today? You didn't know I was going to ask you that, did you? Okay.
So
Huh?
the thing
Maintenance?
maintenance is to do everything that all the time they tell you to do.
Okay.
So
Right.
it's like with Bitcoin.
So we need maintainers in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We
To
appreciate
keep
them.
going doing the things
You
that we
know what?
always
And I appreciate all the maintenance that Core's done for the last
yeah.
decade. And like I say, if you read they deserve to be recognized, and they deserve tribute for what they preserved and what they've done for the past decade. We'll get into that later. But that's the whole thing. Maintainers are great, and mandates. Uh, mandates are not bad in themselves, but they're bad when the maintainers mandate to the users. And so this is really the users have to be mandating to the maintainers. And then there's more than that. We also users have to. It doesn't have to be through nodes. We can actually build a fiduciary system completely off chain that Bitcoin depends on because it's been built from the bottom up instead of the top down. It's an incredible thought. And I know we can do it. It's not this mysterious node thing, and that's all. Yeah, it's an important part. That's part of it. But the thing is, it has to be users that know nothing about nodes. We'll never know nothing about nodes, but they're figured out Bitcoin because it can be trusted and you can build it from the bottom up. That's what real sound money is going to be about. And that's the dream I'm trying to implant. So thanks for listening. And this is the beginning of our series. My goal, I wish I recorded, right? My goal is I want my daughter to speak perfect English and perfect Spanish and to learn at least basic math. I've already discovered she has an aptitude for coding, so who knows? She definitely thinks different than I do, but I think all women think differently than men.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
but thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you maybe tomorrow. We'll do another show this weekend. All right, well, we'll see how the articles go.
Yep.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.